Welcome to House Edge. Before we start the episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. And check us out on Twitter, TikTok, and Discord at House Edge Bet. Links down below. Enjoy the show.
House Edge, we're back for another week of talking bets. NFL Week 7 coming up, college football Week 8. How you doing, Bert?
Doing good. Cashed a plus 1,000 this week. I mean, can't complain, right?
Yes, first on the board, plus 1,000.
Cowboys pull through. Barely, but they pull through.
Yeah, it was looking ugly for them for a minute.
Oh, man, they had me sweating last night.
Yeah.
But we did it.
So, yep. A little recap on how we did last week. I was 3-2 in NFL. For college football, I was 1-1-1. Burke, you were 2-4 in NFL. And college football, you had a clean slate and 3-0.
Got him, baby.
Add on that to plus 1,000, and that's a good day.
It was a pretty good weekend. Definitely no complaints this weekend, except for the fucking Bears, dude. If the Bears pull through for us, we would have been extremely positive this weekend, but
yeah,
it's okay.
Justin goes out with that thumb.
Yeah, his replacement, I don't even remember his name, like Tyson Baggert or whatever. He didn't even look that bad. Honestly, he looked decent.
Yeah, after that first drive, he definitely had some first drive jitters, but then he stabled in. I don't know if I'm going to trust him for a whole game, a whole preparation.
Well, I have a surprise for you because I do trust him for a full game this week.
Oh, God.
I think, dude, looking at the NFL slate this week, it's the ugliest slate I think I've ever seen. It might be the worst slate I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a pretty ugly. It's some pretty ugly matchups there.
All the totals are like 39, 39.5, 40. Like they're expecting extremely low scoring games. And I mean, we kind of have seen that in the NFL. Look at the Bills Giants game, the Bengals Seahawks game, right? If the Dolphins aren't in the game, it's not going over 50 most likely. But yeah. What happened last week in college football? We have Washington winning the game of the year so far against Oregon. Oregon can't convert a fourth down. I mean, they easily would have won if they just converted one of those three.
Yeah, over 3 on fourth down. And they was using the same, I don't know if it was the same play, but it definitely was the same look each time. Every time they roll Bo Nix out and then, trying to get some cutback in the end zone or something.
Yeah,
like, it's not working, dude.
See, I don't like those rollout plays because your first look on those rollout plays, if it's not there, you're toast. It's over with.
Yeah, unless you can find a running lane as your quarterback. But I love that they were going for it, but you would love to get a different play call at least once.
I know, man. Run something other than a bootleg. Yeah. Push not bad. I think Washington was the better team overall, so I'm glad that they won. But
yeah,
I think Washington's gonna
match up like Oklahoma, Texas that we might have to see again in that Pac-12 championship.
Yep, it's gonna depend on USC.
Yeah,
how USC does.
USC is looking not so good. I've been saying Caleb's gonna make a play. Caleb was the reason they lost last week.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I saw them losing to Notre Dame just by virtue of that defense, but I was surprised to see Caleb not play well either. So didn't play it, should have played it. Would have been, well, I think Notre Dame was favored by 2.5. I think that's why I didn't play it. If they were underdogs, definitely would have taken Notre Dame there. But yeah, another Pac-12 team. We have Colorado on, I think it was Friday night, right? They blew the largest lead in school history. It's 29-0 at halftime. Shador's advertisement guy is posting his merch on his Instagram while he's in the locker room. And then they blow a 29-point lead. Can't make it up.
Dude, yeah, and I put in, a late ticket on this one for this game, and I'm sitting there at halftime. I'm not even watching the game, I'm watching the movie at the house. I look at the score, I'm like, 0-29 at half? Cash. Like, I'm just waiting for the deposit. Then I go back, and I'm like, overtime?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they lose in overtime. Ridiculous.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's something else, man. And Stanford is poverty, too. That's the worst
Terrible.
part. That team is so bad. They have a wide receiver that the guy that made the catch against the guy's back.
Say it again.
Some wide receiver on Stanford made a catch against a guy's back on Colorado. Can't be letting the guy do that to you. Just like stop running, you know? Fall down. Oh, man. Yeah. But on a good note, Florida State, Penn State, cash cows, bro. They're just cash cows. You bet on them and they pay out for you. I'm telling you, James Franklin will sell his children to cover the spread.
Yeah, call him Mr. Buckets.
He has covered, I think, 12 straight now. I have bet every single one of those games, and I'm going to continue to bet Penn State until they lose me money. And I'll probably get right back.
You're going to bet them after they
Yeah, I'm going to lose me money. I'm going to bet them after they lose me money, too. Definitely. I mean, 12 in a row, like, it's going to take a while for them to lose me all that.
Yeah, definitely got some priced in there. And we definitely going to win next week. He's getting plus money.
This is the game of the year. This is the game of the year. According to whatever football power index, power rankings, whatever, they got Ohio State as the number 1 team and Penn State as the number 3 team in the country. This is the game of the year, straight up.
I don't. What are these metrics? I have not
clue.
seen anything that says that Ohio State is a better team than us this year.
Yeah,
it's history bias, I think.
Has to be. Yeah, I mean, I think our defense is now the number 1 defense in the country after a shutout of the Minutemen of UMass.
The Minutemen. 63-0.
That's
I shouldn't have stopped you from taking that alt line.
Yeah, the alt 60 would have cashed. That's damn it. That's crazy. Franklin's listening to the show. Franklin, we need 4.5. We need money line this week. Please.
Keep doing what you're doing, Frank. Doing a great job. Go get that bonus.
You get those booster checks.
That duffel bag under, your car every week.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, moving on to the NFL. The Desmond Ridder home win streak is snapped. Loses at home, how fittingly, on his 3rd interception of the day. Arthur Smith in shambles. He wants to cry on the sideline, but he can't. He's got to keep it together.
I told you every good streak comes to an end.
Yep, and I'm usually on the wrong betting side of it.
But it's a great streak, He made it, a year and a half into his NFL career before he lost at home?
Yeah, since probably high school. He probably even won all his games in high school, too.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. Congrats to him, but also not congrats on losing to the Commanders. When he easily could have won that game if he just played slightly better.
Yeah.
The interceptions were his fault. They were bad throws.
Stop giving it away to the other team.
That's simple. You got to take care of the football if you're trying to win in the NFL. Speaking of that, no more undefeateds. Jalen Hurts. I think he also threw 3 interceptions, right?
Yeah, that Jets defense is showing up. Robert Saleh saying that they've played a gauntlet of quarterbacks and they embarrassed them all. I don't think he's lying.
He's not.
They've made Josh Allen look bad. They've made Patrick Mahomes look bad. And now Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to be honest with you. I can see this Jets team still winning that division with Zach Wilson at the helm. Zach Wilson looks a little bit better. He looks good enough.
He's getting better. He's definitely getting some confidence and playing better. But let's not go too crazy. Buffalo's still in that division.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Buffalo looks strapped against that Giants defense. They couldn't do anything.
Everybody has a bad day. Everybody has a bad day.
The Giants
played their best game of the season.
Yeah, I actually put in a late wager on the Giants spread. I mean, 15.5 points was the largest spread we've seen all season. I have to be on the point side of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know his name, but there's a cornerback on the Giants who has now shut down Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Stephon Diggs in back-to-back weeks. I think allowed 3 total receptions for 15 yards on those 3. Yeah. 1 reception each.
That's impressive.
Right?
Was he not guarding Tyreek the whole time? I feel
He
like
was
Tyreek
not.
Definitely,
He
okay.
was not.
I feel like Tyreek
But
definitely went off against the Giants.
on the ones where he was guarding him, he had like
Yeah.
1 catch for 9 yards or something like that.
Gotcha. All right.
So he's doing something right. At least somebody there is doing something right. Tyrod Taylor looked a little bit better than Daniel Jones. I'm going to be real with you.
He did. He definitely did. He definitely did. And at the very minimum, he wasn't dangerous to the Giants. You know, he wasn't there going to lose the game for him.
Yeah. And he can move around like when the pocket inevitably collapses because that offensive line is in shambles. It's in shambles, man. So bad. But speaking of an offensive line not in shambles, are the Lions the best team in football right now?
I'm going to say no. Even with the Eagles and 49ers losing, I still have them slightly above them. But it's getting real close. They're looking really good.
Yeah. I personally do have the Lions as the best team in football. They showed us, I think, what was it, week 1? Did they beat Kansas City in Detroit or in Kansas City?
It was in Kansas City.
Yeah. That puts them as the number 1 team in football for me. What's their one loss? Who'd they lose to?
They lost to Seattle.
How, man? Oh, in overtime. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So a fluke loss.
Yeah, happens. I take them as the best team in football right now.
Eagles and the 49ers have had a much harder schedule going in. I mean, they got that Kansas City win, the Lions, but you know, they also played Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay.
The NFC South, baby.
This Ravens game this week is going to be the true test. If they can clear the Ravens, then we can really start talking.
Yeah, they're underdogs. I don't understand why, but hey, we're both on that side of that. We'll find out later. Yeah, let's get into it. NFL plays, right? We have our first play, common play. Bills 8.5 point favorites against the Patriots. Just the Patriots fade, right? I mean, I think we're on the same page here. The Patriots are the worst team in football this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're the worst team in football. They have no receivers. Mac Jones, maybe he's not terrible, but he's definitely not looking good right now. I don't see them putting up any points, and you're going to have to put up points against the Bills unless you play like the Giants last week.
Yeah.
And I don't think you could do that to them twice in a row.
I don't see. Yeah. I mean, the Bills were favored by 15.5 against the Giants, but only 8.5 against the Patriots. Something's not mathing for me here, right? Because I would take the Giants as a better team than the Patriots. So
absolutely.
Very easy Bills bet for me here. 8.5. This is the one that I would play at 15.5 if they put the spread there.
Yeah.
Right? I think it should have been 8.5 against the Giants.
Badly. Yeah.
But yeah.
Easy play here.
On the same page. Love it. Bills 8.5. My next play, I have the Bucks 2.5 point favorites against the Falcons. If Desmond Ritter's at the helm of the Falcons and he's not at home, I have absolutely no problem betting against the Falcons. Right. And now that he's lost at home, I don't have any problem betting against him at home either. I think Desmond Ritter's probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
This one, I was leaning to go on the opposite side. I think that the Falcons defense is going to cause Baker some problems. And I'm telling you that Baker Mania is over. You know, he had a couple good weeks to start the season. Now we're going to start seeing regular Baker.
Are you sure? Are you sure this isn't a bet to try to get your NFL futures Buccaneers under 4.5 to cash because they're already at 3 wins.
I haven't thought about that future in a long time.
I have that same slip too, so.
Yeah. I consider as good as trash.
Oh man, yeah, they're definitely winning 2 more games this year. But yeah, I think this is one of those games that they win, and I think they're gonna win by 3 or more points. The Falcons, Bijan is the shining star on that team. If they can get him the ball, whatever ways they can get him the ball, just let him make some plays in the open field. Otherwise, I don't trust Desmond Ridder with it, throwing it to anybody else because he's probably going to throw it to the other team.
I can't argue with you there.
All right. Next play, we can both talk about this one since we both have a piece of it. I have the Lions 3-point underdogs against the Ravens, and you have them outright plus 130.
Yeah, like we said at the beginning of the show, they're in contention to be one of the best teams in the league right now. The Ravens, while they played good last week, I don't think they have played consistently good like the Lions have, so I would take the Lions in this one.
Yeah, the Ravens are one of the hardest teams to handicap in football because one week they'll be playing their best. Lamar's playing good. All his weapons are playing good. They look absolutely unstoppable. No team can stop him in the league. And then one week they just get shut out in the second half against the Steelers and lose.
Yeah, it's like night and day every week. Who's going to show up?
Yeah. I think this is one of those. I mean, it's just they had a good week. Now I think they're going to have a bad week. I'm just guessing, basically. And they're against the best team they've played all year. So,
yeah, by far.
Yep. And they're favorites. So, I'm happy taking the Lions here.
I don't know how the Ravens are favorites here. People are really taking a lot of stock in that London win.
Yeah.
Which was against Tennessee. So, I don't.
Exactly.
Let's slow down a little bit.
Exactly. Yep. I mean, they cash for us too. You want to talk about your the London play trend that we've been hitting the last 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, so this is definitely a trend that everyone should be looking out for, and one that we'll probably be betting for the foreseeable future. There's a sports science idea between teams that if you show up late to the overseas game, that you won't have enough time to get jet lag. I think that's utter ridiculous.
Yep. I'm telling you, I travel to Turkey every single year, once a year. So I don't know too much about international travel. I know about it once a year, right? The way it works is the first couple days you're there are the worst days you're there. Then you get used to it. And then when you get back, the first couple days you're back suck. And then you get used to it. So I don't know why you would not be sending everybody out there as soon as your game is over on Sunday night.
I have no clue.
Have them sleep on the plane on the red eye.
That's back-to-back weeks. The team that got in 30 hours before the game loses and looks bad. Like they actually look like they are jet lag and drafting at the beginning of these games. Were opposed to the Ravens, who got in on, I want to say they got in on like Monday. I saw them posting pictures with like the top squad throughout the week. So yeah, they're not listening to that nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to find travel schedules of these teams, but I'm definitely going to be looking in the future. And we got 2 Germany games coming up.
Oh yeah. I'm just going to look up day of the game. Blank arrives in Germany. Blank arrives in Germany and see which one arrived there earlier. That's my bet. That's simple.
No analysis needed.
That's simple. All right. Next play, I got Broncos country, baby. Let's ride one more time. This team has lost me every bet I placed on them in the last 2 years. They're so poverty.
You think you would learn your lesson?
You would think that, but they're beating the fucking Packers.
I do agree. I also agree that they will beat the Packers. I think, after coming off some extra time, after playing on a Thursday night game, they get some extra time to prepare for the Packers. I think they actually match up well with that defense and offense. So I'm taking this play too in my parlay. I like this play.
Nice. Did you know that there were only 2 teams on bye last week, but 6 teams on bye this week?
Yeah.
So, in my fantasy league, I have Derrick Henry and Breece Hall as the only running backs on my team. They're both on bye. I had to pick up who's the Rams backup that's going in place of Kyron Williams.
I don't know.
I don't even know his name. It's like
I have
Zach
Kyron Williams in the league.
It's like Zach's. Hold on, I picked him up and I have it up here. Zach Evans.
Zach Evans.
Yep, of the Los Angeles Rams is my RB2, and my RB1 is Mr. Farm Simulator himself, AJ Dillon.
Wow.
What a tough week. And I'm still projected to win.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's going to be a tough one. But yeah, Broncos country. I don't know how we got to that topic from Broncos country. Let's ride. If you let me down again, I'm
It's just really on your mind.
Yeah. If the Broncos
really thinking about this fantasy loss that's coming up, it had nothing to do with the pick.
Telling them congratulations on your win this week. Oh man. But yeah, I think Russell Wilson has to win a game sometime, right?
Yeah,
you can't just lose all of them.
Him and Sean Payton, like, they got to start showing something. They getting paid a lot of money out here.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be unemployed soon instead of making millions of dollars. Oh, boy. Yeah. But yeah, sticking with...
His suit ready. He about to be on TV.
Oh, sticking out west. Cardinals, Seahawks. We both have a play in this game. I'll go first. I have the over 44.5 in this game. I see a shootout. I don't see either of these defenses being very good, right? We have 2 quarterbacks who are longtime backup veterans who are now starters in the league, and I think they're going to put on a show, honestly.
I couldn't really pick a side on this over-under. But I definitely could see them scoring some points. These aren't 2 teams that were really known for defense these days. Well, the Seahawks have an identity, but they're not that solid. So, yeah, we can definitely see some points for this over 44. That seems like a low number.
Yeah, they're going with the whole NFL trend of unders right now, and I think this is going to be the game that breaks it. Yeah, I mean, listen to these totals. We got 39.5 Thursday night, 39.5 Colts, 39.5 Commanders, 38.5 Falcons, 41.5 Bills, 37.5 Raiders. There is only 3 games with a total over 45 this week.
Yeah, expect some less red zones.
Yeah, expect boring football this week on Red Zone. Good. Oh, I'm going to be at the beach in Tampa. Good week to be there.
Oh, nice.
Skip all these low-scoring games. Watch, they're all going to go over now.
Yeah, jinx.
Yeah, but on the other side, you have the Cardinals spread here, right?
Yeah, I got the Cardinals plus 7.5. I'm also taking a little bit of this on the money line as well, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, I think the Cards, they've been playing everyone well. Seattle's not a particularly dominant team. I don't really see why it's a 7.5 point game. I would say this is more of, 5 or 6. So I'm going to take the Cards on the value. Joshua Dobbs, I mean, he beat the Cowboys. He can go ahead and beat Gino.
Yeah, easily. I mean, this is one of those games where I was thinking about putting it into one of my parlays as the Seahawks money line, but it's a minus 400, and I could easily see them losing it. So just can't be putting that in any parlays, right? So 7.5 is also a lot of points. I like this play.
Yeah, against 2-score game. I think it's a solid value.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But let me get into the rest of my plays. I also have the Chargers plus 6 versus the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs as much as anyone else, but these Chargers have played everyone close. They have the most losses by 3 points. So at 6, I'm going to take them.
Okay, yeah. The Chiefs do struggle against their division opponents historically.
Yeah.
They just haven't done that well against them. And is this a primetime game or is this a 4 o'clock game? It's a 4 o'clock game.
It's
Okay.
the Monday night game.
No, it's a 4 o'clock game.
It's a 4
4:25.
o'clock game.
Yep.
Okay.
Monday night is the 49ers Vikings, which preseason that was probably going to be an amazing game, but
Not so much these days.
well, we know how the Vikings turned out. But yeah, the Chargers +6. I was looking at, I saw 5.5 as the line on FanDuel, so you might want to get this quick if you can still find that 6 number. But I was thinking about the Chiefs at that number, then I remember that they just don't do well against this division, right?
Yeah, the Chiefs they struggle with covering touchdowns or close to it spreads. They're not a big for a team that's so great. The Chiefs are terrible at covering the spread.
Yeah.
Historically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they just go for the win, right? As soon as Pat Mahomes knows he has that 3-point lead and he's taking knees instead of running into the end zone, right?
Yeah.
You saw the Jets, Brees Hall, the inexperience. He's running immediately into the end zone to take the lead against the Eagles and giving Jalen Hurts another chance, right? He should have fallen down and easily taken more time off the clock if I were him. Or if he were the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's also maybe, he doesn't know how many times he's going to get to do that.
True. Yep. My fantasy team thanks him.
For sure. I also have the Eagles -2.5 versus the Dolphins. I'm really out of this ugly slate of games. This is one of the games I'm really looking forward to watching. I think that that track offense of the Dolphins isn't going to be able to handle the Eagles. I think offensive line, defensive line, they win those lines of scrimmages and they win the game.
I disagree with you here. Unfortunately, I just think the Dolphins this year are kind of unstoppable on offense. I don't think any defense in this league is going to be able to slow them down because nobody's as fast as Tyreek. That's simple. If Tua
no one is as fast as Tyreek.
If Tua can get the ball to where Tyreek is or is going to be, he will get there before his defender. I'm going to take that combination. I just, depending on the line stopping Jalen Carter for like 3 seconds, please. Tyreek will be 40 yards down the field in 3 seconds.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can consistently stop that Eagles pass rush. I think it's going to be a nightmare for Tua. They're going to knock off the timing. And when we knock off Tua's timing, I think that's the Dolphins' whole offense.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, they've been able to keep Tua pretty safe so far, but they haven't played any lines like the Eagles line so far. So
yeah. I also think that hopefully, the Eagles will come into the game with a strategy of limiting, the Dolphins' possessions by running that ball with DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Push play every time it's on 4th and 1. Just knock down time possession.
That Swift pickup was huge for the Eagles, and they gave up basically chump change for him to the Lions. The Lions went and spent a high draft pick on Jahmyr Gibbs for basically the same production, maybe even a little bit of a downgrade.
I think they could get the same production. This is another fantasy thing. I think they could get another.
They don't use him.
If they put him in the game.
Just play him. Give him the ball. He's averaging like 6 yards a carry. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. They'll have me going all day. But yeah, I don't hate this play. I'm just, if you had me pick this game, I would pick the Dolphins money line.
Dolphins money line. I mean, that'd be good value.
Yep. Get the plus 112 on it. Yep. That's actually in one of my parlays, I think. Yep, it is. But yeah,
let's move on to college.
Yeah, that rounds out NFL. Let's go to college. I mean, you guys already know who we're betting on for college as our main play, right?
Oh,
It's Penn State. Money line, spread, all of it.
I'm all over this game. The total. I'll be on my couch watching this game.
Oh, absolutely. I think I saw you picked the over on the. Oh no, you picked the under on the total. That's exactly what I was going to say. I agree with you there. I think this is going to be like a 20-14 game or something like that. One team just barely squeaks by. It's going to be Penn State.
Let's go Penn State. So let's start off with the common play. So the common play is Penn State plus 4.5, and the money line plus 162 versus Ohio State. They can't touch us.
Yeah, they just can't.
Getting it done.
We went in there a few years back. I still remember being at Penn State, watching us lose in the big house the year that we thought we were going to do it all. Tough. But this year, things are going to be different. And that cash out is going to look fantastic on the Penn State Big Ten championship winner. Yeah, Penn State, 4.5 and money line. Easy place. Next, I have USC bounce back spot, -6.5 against Utah. I think just Utah is not on the same level of USC. I don't think they have the same athletes or a quarterback that's as good, right? USC is going to be able to beat them by over a touchdown, and they're mad about last week.
This is one I might have to tell you with, 6.5 versus Utah. I like the matchup. And like we said in the beginning of the show, this was Caleb's one of his worst weeks, in college.
Yep.
So you expect some kind of bounce back from him next week. 6.5 might not be enough points.
Yeah, he's definitely still on that Heisman campaign, so he's going to try to prove them. Tell everybody that he's still around. He's still in the race. All right. And then next I have the cash cow. I'm going to keep betting them until they lose me money. I couldn't bet them the 1 week they played Boston College because it was a Massachusetts team, and you can't bet on Massachusetts college teams' games in Massachusetts. So I avoided the one loss this year. I'm going to take them against Duke, 13.5 points. I know it's a lot of points. This team just hasn't let me down. They're at home. I think it's a night game. They're going to show up.
This is one when I was looking through the plays, I considered taking Duke at the plus 13.5. But I did have to remember that Duke did lose their starting quarterback in that Notre Dame game, Riley Leonard. Because at first I was like 13.5. That's wild.
Yep. The quarterback makes a huge difference here.
Yeah, especially in college. So I'm not going to take it personally, but I think it's a good play. It just seems like a lot of points.
Yeah, but they're a cash cow.
They are a cash cow.
They are a cash cow. That rounds out my plays. What else do you have, Rob?
Yeah, so I also have the under 48.5 in this Penn State game. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game where our defense really shows up as our number one unit, and they're going to lock up Ohio State. I think the only person that I won't lock up is Marvin Harrison, just because he's unlockable.
Yeah, he looks kind of unstoppable, which happens.
I'm not sure. Cloning might be real, man. I don't know if that's just Marvin's son. It's like he threw his whole entire, thought process, everything. He looks like a vet.
Yeah. I mean, he learned from one of the greatest, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we have two defenses that give up an average of a combined 17 points per game right now, so.
Yeah, it's going to be a gritty game.
Yep. Every yard's going to be hard fought for. Turnovers are going to be huge. Drew Alar has not thrown an interception this year. Yeah. He's not thrown an interception this year, but this is obviously going to be the best unit he faces so far.
Yeah, by far, it's going to be the best unit he faces, and it's going to be the biggest crowd test of his young career. But I think he's ready for the moment.
If he goes into Ohio State, another interceptionless performance, he's got to be on the Heisman radar, right?
Yeah, if they stop playing with our ranking. Well, they can't. After we beat Ohio State, they can't play with our ranking.
Yeah, if we beat Ohio State, we're top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Whoever wins this game is top 3, maybe top 2. They could jump Michigan.
I would still vote for Michigan over us. Michigan has looked dominant.
Yeah, they are actually the only defense that's better than us, averaging a 6.7 points per game against them. That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
that is a great segue to my next play. I have Michigan minus 23.5 versus Michigan State. I got one team that lost their coach mid-season, hasn't really looked good when they had their coach.
Yep.
And I got probably the best team in football. Until they get tested by Ohio State and Penn State, they're the best team in football to me. I got them over Georgia. So yeah.
Yeah, I like this play too. I mean, Michigan State is a team that's in shambles right now, right? They don't have the coach that all the players came there to play for, and some pretty weird stuff coming out about him too, right? So those kids just don't know what to think, right? And they also won't know what to think when Michigan hits them in the mouth on Saturday, because that's the best team in the country that's coming at them. 23.5 points.
Game Michigan's going to come to play.
It's not enough points. Michigan's blown out everybody this year.
Yeah.
I like that play.
And last, I have Miami +3 versus Clemson. I think this is a case of where, the lines are just getting messed up by a couple bad plays. If the Miami takes a knee, last week and then loses to UNC, they're have a much higher profile than Clemson at this time. So +3, I'm definitely going to take them.
Yeah. I mean, Clemson doesn't have anything to really play for this year, right? They've already lost their 2 games. So Clemson has those players, right, that went there to win a national championship, right? Because they have won a national championship there before. So once that's out of the picture, a lot of those players are just going to give up. Miami doesn't have players that went there to win a national championship. I'm going to be real with you, right? Yeah. They went there to have a good time and beat up on big teams like Clemson. I could see them winning this outright. I love this play.
Yeah, I may sprinkle a little money on action.
Yep. That rounds out the college plays, doesn't it?
Yep.
Want to get into our parlays?
Yep, let's just do a quick full recap of all our plays. I don't think we did it for NFL either. For NFL, Burke has Bucks -2.5 versus the Falcons, Lions +3 versus the Ravens, Broncos money line versus the Packers, and the Cardinals Seahawks over 44.5. I'm taking Chargers +6, Cardinals +7.5 versus the Seahawks, Eagles -2.5 versus the Dolphins, and the Lions money line versus the Ravens. And our common play of the week for NFL is the Bills -8.5 versus the Pats. For NCAA, we have 2 common plays, PSU +4.5 and PSU money line. Burke has USC -6.5 versus Utah, and Florida State -13.5 versus Duke. I have PSU, OSU under 48.5, Michigan -23.5 versus Michigan State, and Miami +3 versus Clemson. Lock in all those plays, guys.
Lock them in. All right, now getting into the parlays. I'm going to just be honest with everyone here. I hate my parlays this week. I hate them. They're disgusting. I had to put something together, and this is what I came up with, okay? Starting with the +500, I have the Rams money line against the Steelers. Do your job. Cooper Kupp, catch some footballs, whatever. Chiefs money line against the Chargers. You're at home. Don't lose to the freaking Chargers. Alabama money line against Tennessee. You're really going to lose to them 2 years in a row? Are you serious? Tennessee? You're Nick Saban. Come on. No. Not at home. They lost in where was that? Knoxville? Is that where they play? They're not losing in Tuscaloosa. This game means too much to Nick, all right? The boosters are so mad at him from last year. Because their friends from Tennessee over the border in Tennessee could make fun of him.
I almost pressed the button. I almost pressed the button.
No. Next, I got Ole Miss minus 245 against Auburn. This is probably my least confident one on this card, right? This is a lot of legs to get to plus 500. Bear with me. This is a VIP Supreme Plus play. Florida State minus 690 versus Duke to get us to that plus 500. And last, USC money line against Utah. I mean, I don't have very many games that I like on this slate. So you see some repeats that I picked from my other picks, but more conservative.
543.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of legs. But I just hit a 5-legger. Just adding one more leg.
What happens when you're feeling yourself coming off a plus 1,000?
Exactly. Damn it. You're not even wrong. All right, give us your plus 500.
Oh man, I have 2 legs. I have a 2-legger. I'm going to Cardinals money line plus 315, and the 49ers versus the Vikings. They got to do their job. You know, you can't lose 2 weeks in a row as the 49ers.
Yeah, you saw the 49ers turned out on my plus 500 last week. Embarrassing. But yeah, that's 2 legs get you to plus almost 700. That's the way to go, I think, rather than the 6 legs. I would tail Rob's parlay before I tail my parlay.
A lot of pressure there.
Disclosure. But yeah, you want to move on to our plus 1,000s?
Yeah, I'll go first. For my plus 1,000, I have 4 legs, going with the Raiders over the Bears, Rams over the Steelers, Broncos over the Packers, and Falcons over Tampa Bay. All money line. Altogether, we got plus 1098.
All right. Okay. I mean, I think this is going to be one of those crazy weeks where you see a bunch of, underdogs. I don't even know if they're really underdogs. You just have shitty teams playing shitty teams, right? Falcons, Tampa Bay, could see it going either way. I'm on the other side. Raiders, Bears. I actually have the other side of this in the parlay I'm about to give.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, but I have the Rams and the Broncos, so I'm not totally against this parlay here. It gets you over the plus 1,000.
Yeah. And plus 1098. That was the same odds on yours. Hopefully we get a little luck rub on.
Run it back. Yeah.
Run it back.
I have 4 legs as well for mine. Another VIP premium play. Bills money line minus 400 against the Patriots. That was just to give me the little boost over the plus 1,000.
That's a free 400. There's
Yep.
no way.
There's no shot, right?
No.
Right?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Dolphins money line against the Eagles plus 112. I just have 3 underdogs here. Colts money line against the Browns and the Bears money line against the Raiders. I think all these games are toss-ups. I could see the underdog winning all 3 of them, and I think we're going to have a crazy week in football this week.
Yeah. I'm going directly against that Eagles play and the Bears play. I was going to say I like, but I guess I'm going directly against all of it,
Yeah. Except the Bills money line, right? That's the VIP premium.
Yeah, I love that one. I'm interested that you picked the Colts to beat the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gardner Minshew's getting through that defense.
We'll see. We'll see. You guys drafted offensive line. Maybe somebody will stop Myles Garrett.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's one of the best offensive lines in the league. That is our bread and butter.
Brings us to plus 11.99, almost $12. Yeah. I hate these parlays. Again, I'm telling you, I hate my own parlays. But I had to put something together. And speaking of hating it, the 13 this week, I couldn't even think of an adjective for the 13 that made good sense. So I just call it the 13. The ones we have in common this week, we both picked the Saints on Thursday night. We both have the Bills. We both have the Lions, Rams, Seahawks. Oh, no, we both don't have the Seahawks. You have the Cardinals. Sorry. The Rams, Chiefs, Broncos, and 49ers. Right. While we actually have a lot of differences this week.
Yeah.
Our differences, I have the Colts. You have Cleveland. I can't believe you're fading your own team. That's crazy.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. 2 weeks
I
in a
know
row.
their flaws. I know their flaws. I know their strengths, and I got to be honest about it.
I mean, I could see their flaws against Jacksonville, but I think they're gonna beat the Browns. The Browns just had a wild week against the 49ers.
That would make my day if we beat the Browns, but I
We'll
don't see it.
And we have I have the Commanders. You have the Giants.
Yeah, Giants.
Giants at home beating the Commanders.
At some point, they have to fix the offense. And who better to fix your offense against than, a defense,
Yeah, fair.
They should have game plans for Washington.
They definitely should. Yeah,
and if they don't, that's gonna be the number 1 pick next year. Giants, they're gonna find some way to get
right after the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
You can't pass the Patriots this year. I think they're on another level.
We're gonna have to split Caleb up like 5 ways.
Oh man.
It's just too many teams that need his services.
Yep. Then the next ones, we already talked about these. Buccaneers. I have the Buccaneers. You have the Falcons. I have the Bears. You have the Raiders. I have the Dolphins. You have the Eagles. And then lastly, you picked the Cardinals money line in your parlay earlier and here. I think the Seahawks will squeak by a win. I don't see them winning by the 7.5 definitely, but I think they'll win by 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's a toss up. That's why I'm taking the money line.
Yep.
Because at
As a
plus
straight.
310, toss up, you gotta throw it out there.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, that puts us at ridiculously positive if we hit those.
Just gotta hit one. Make the whole year.
Yep, exactly. You pay for everything for the entire year and probably the next few years too.
Yeah.
All right. That rounds out the show. You got anything else for the people, Rob?
Nothing for them.
Nothing for them. All right. Go Penn State. Fuck Ohio State. It's that kind of vibe this week. All right. Have a good week.